Hello, my dear friends, and welcome to English Online. I am so excited to have you here with me today. My name is Sarah, and together we are going to explore one of the most fascinating and busy places in the world, the airport. An airport is not just a building where planes take off and land. It is a place full of emotions, energy, and stories. For some people, the airport means the start of an adventure. They arrive with excitement, ready to explore new countries and cultures. For others, the airport is about saying goodbye to loved ones, sometimes with tears in their eyes. And for many, it is the joyful place where families reunite after months or even years apart. Every time I step into an airport, I feel that life is full of new journeys waiting to begin. In this special lesson from English Online, we will take a step-by-step journey through a day at the airport. Along the way, I will share useful English words, expressions, and phrases that you can use when you travel. You will learn how to describe what happens at check-in, what you hear and see around you, and how to express your own feelings in English. Don't worry if everything feels new or difficult. I will speak slowly and clearly. You can listen, repeat sentences, imagine the situations, and practice using the new words. So, my friends, sit back, relax, and let's begin our adventure at the airport together. Episode 1: Arriving at the airport and check-in. When I arrive at the airport, the first thing I notice is how big and bright the building looks. From the outside, the glass walls shine in the sunlight. Taxis, buses, and cars are dropping off passengers. Some people are rushing quickly with large suitcases, while others are calmly hugging their families before saying goodbye. The air is full of voices, rolling suitcases, and the sound of wheels moving across the floor. I walk toward the entrance with my suitcase. The automatic glass doors slide open, and a cool breeze from the air conditioning greets me. Inside, the departure hall is huge and full of people. I can hear different languages, laughter, and sometimes even crying. Big screens hang from the ceiling, showing flight numbers, times, and destinations. Some flights say on time, while others say delayed. The hall is alive with activity. To my left, I see long rows of check-in counters with bright airline logos. To my right, there are cafes where travelers drink coffee or eat sandwiches before their flights. Some people are sitting quietly, reading books, while others are busy on their phones, checking messages or taking photos. I pull my suitcase behind me. It feels heavy, but I am excited. My backpack is on my shoulders, neatly packed with important documents, my passport, ticket, and a small notebook where I like to write my travel experiences. I know that being organized helps me feel calm and confident. As I walk closer to the check-in counters, I hear announcements from the loudspeakers. Attention, passengers for Flight 218 to London. Please proceed to Gate 24. The voice is clear, polite, and repeated in different languages. These announcements remind me that airports are truly international places. I find the check-in counter for my flight. The airline staff stand behind the counter with friendly smiles, ready to help passengers. I join the line. In front of me, a family with small children is checking in. The children are excited, pointing at the airplanes they can see through the windows. Behind me, a business traveler in a suit is quickly typing on his laptop while waiting. When it is my turn, I walk up to the counter with a polite smile and say, "Good morning." The staff member greets me warmly and asks for my passport and ticket. I hand them over confidently. She checks my documents, types on her computer, and then asks me to place my suitcase on the moving belt. I lift it carefully and put it on the scale. The screen shows the weight, and luckily, my suitcase is not too heavy. The staff member attaches a tag to my suitcase and sends it away on the belt. Watching my suitcase disappear feels a little strange, but I know it will meet me again at my destination. She prints my boarding pass and hands it to me with a smile, saying, "Have a nice flight." I thank her politely, "Thank you very much." Now, I feel lighter with only my backpack. I take a moment to look at my boarding pass. It has my name, my flight number, the boarding time, and the gate where I need to go later. I double-check the details carefully. Organization is important when traveling, because airports can sometimes be confusing. I step aside from the counter and look around again. People are walking in every direction. Some are rushing because they are late, while others walk calmly, enjoying their time before the flight. I notice a little girl waving goodbye to her grandmother, tears shining in both of their eyes. Next to them, a group of friends is laughing loudly, taking selfies together before their big trip. These small moments remind me that airports are full of emotions, happiness, excitement, and sometimes sadness. As I walk further into the departure hall, I see shops selling travel essentials, neck pillows, headphones, books, and snacks. The smell of fresh coffee drifts from a nearby cafe. Travelers sit at tables, sipping drinks, reading newspapers, and watching people pass by. I pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and feel the energy of this special place. Before I continue, I check my backpack again to make sure I have everything: passport, boarding pass, wallet, and phone. Keeping these items safe is very important when traveling. Feeling organized gives me peace of mind. Finally, I start walking toward the security check area, where I will place my belongings on trays and walk through scanners. My journey at the airport is just beginning. I feel a mix of nervousness and excitement, but I remind myself that traveling is not only about reaching a destination, it is also about enjoying the journey itself. And my dear friends, this is the end of episode 1, arriving at the airport and check-in. In the next episode, we will explore the security check, the waiting area, and how passengers spend their time before boarding. So, Stay with English Online and get ready for Episode 2. Episode 2, Security Check and Waiting Area. After finishing check-in, I walk toward the security area. The entrance is wide, with clear signs above showing arrows and the word Security Check. A line of passengers is already waiting. Some people look calm, others look a little nervous, and many are checking their passports and boarding passes again and again, just to be sure everything is in order. The atmosphere feels serious but organized. Security officers stand near the machines, politely guiding passengers through the process. I join the line and slowly move forward. Around me, I hear the soft rolling of suitcases, the beep of scanners, and the steady rhythm of people placing items on trays. When it is my turn, I take a deep breath and place my belongings into a plastic tray, my backpack, my phone, my wallet, and even my belt and jacket. I notice other travelers doing the same, carefully removing laptops from their bags and placing liquids into small transparent bags. The security officers explain everything clearly, so even first-time travelers know what to do. I push my tray forward on the moving belt. My items disappear slowly into the X-ray machine. For a moment, I feel a little strange watching them go, but I know they will come out safely on the other side. Then, I step toward the metal detector. The officer gives me a friendly nod, and I walk through. A short beep sounds, but only because of a small key in my pocket. I smile nervously, show the key, and the officer waves me through with a polite thank you. On the other side, I collect my belongings quickly. I put my wallet back in my backpack, slide my jacket on, and carefully check that nothing is missing. Organization is important here. Many people are moving around, and it is easy to forget small items. I double-check: passport, boarding pass, phone, everything is safe. Now, I walk into the waiting area, also called the departure lounge. The space is large, bright, and full of energy. Huge glass windows show airplanes parked outside. Some are boarding passengers, others are preparing for takeoff. I can see the luggage being loaded into the cargo hold, and I hear the distant roar of engines starting. Inside the lounge, there are many things to explore. To my left, there are duty-free shops selling perfumes, chocolates, clothes, and souvenirs. The bright lights and colorful displays catch my eye. Many travelers walk through the aisles, testing perfumes, checking prices, or buying gifts to take home. To my right, there are restaurants and cafes. The smell of fresh coffee mixes with the aroma of baked bread and hot meals. Families sit together at tables, sharing sandwiches or pizza. Business travelers sit alone with laptops open, typing emails while sipping tea. I stop for a moment and buy a small snack, a sandwich and a bottle of water. Eating something light before the flight makes me feel comfortable. As I walk further, I notice groups of passengers sitting near their gates. Some are talking quietly, some are laughing loudly, and others are simply reading or listening to music with headphones. I hear different languages all around me: English, Spanish, Arabic, Chinese, and I realize once again how international airports are. They are places where people from all over the world meet, even if only for a few moments. I find a seat near a large window and sit down with my snack. From here, I can see the runway. A big airplane is slowly moving toward the takeoff strip. Its engines roar louder and louder until, suddenly, it lifts off the ground and rises into the sky. Watching a plane take off always gives me a sense of wonder and excitement. It reminds me that every journey is full of possibilities. While waiting, I take out my notebook and write a few sentences about what I see. Writing helps me remember new English words and also makes the waiting time enjoyable. I jot down phrases like boarding gate, duty-free shop, and departure lounge. These small notes will be useful later. Next to me, a family is playing a quiet card game to pass the time. Across the hall, a young traveler is video calling a friend, showing the airport behind him. I realize that waiting time at the airport is not boring. It is full of small stories, laughter, and connections. As the time for my flight gets closer, I check the big screen again. My flight is still on time. I look at my boarding pass and note the gate number. Slowly, I gather my things and start walking in that direction. The signs above the hallway guide me clearly, and the path is lined with more shops and cafes. When I reach the gate, many passengers are already sitting and waiting. Some are standing in line, eager to board early. The airline staff prepare the counter, scanning documents and making final announcements. I sit down, take a deep breath, and feel the excitement building again. Soon, I will walk through that gate and step onto the airplane. The waiting area is full of different emotions. Some people look tired, resting with eyes closed. Others look thrilled, chatting about their upcoming trip. Children play quietly with toys or watch cartoons on tablets. I enjoy observing these little details. They make me feel connected to the world around me. The loudspeaker makes an announcement: "Attention, passengers for Flight 326 to Paris. Boarding will begin shortly at Gate 12. Passengers stand up, organize their belongings, and line up with passports and boarding passes in hand. I know my own flight will be called soon, and I feel ready." I glance once more out of the window at the airplanes waiting on the runway. The sun is shining on the wings, and clouds move slowly across the sky. I smile, feeling both calm and excited. My journey is about to continue. And my dear friends, this is the end of episode 2, Security Check and Waiting Area. Next, we will step onto the airplane itself. Episode 3, Boarding and Inside the Plane. After waiting patiently at the gate, I finally hear the announcement: "Attention, passengers for Flight 218 to London. We are now ready to begin boarding." Please have your passports and boarding passes ready. The moment feels exciting. Passengers stand up quickly, gather their belongings, and form a line in front of the counter. Some are eager to board first, while others wait calmly in their seats until the line becomes shorter. I join the line, holding my passport in one hand and my boarding pass in the other. My backpack feels light on my shoulders, but my heart beats faster with anticipation. As the line moves forward, I notice the variety of passengers around me. A couple holding hands, whispering to each other. A group of students laughing loudly, taking one last selfie before entering the plane. A businessman looking serious, typing quickly on his phone. And a little boy standing with his mother, jumping up and down with excitement. Airports always bring such different people together in one place. When it is my turn at the counter, I hand over my boarding pass and passport with a smile. The airline staff scans the document, the machine beeps, and she says politely, "Thank you. Have a pleasant flight." I nod, say thank you, and walk through the gate. A long corridor, sometimes called the jet bridge, connects the gate to the airplane. I step into the corridor and feel the cool air. Through the small windows, I can see the airplane waiting outside, large, powerful, and ready to carry us across the sky. My excitement grows with each step. At the airplane door, a flight attendant greets me warmly, "Welcome on board." Her smile makes me feel comfortable. I smile back and say, "Thank you." Inside, the cabin is bright and full of soft light. The sound of quiet music plays in the background. Passengers are walking down the aisle, looking for their seats, placing bags in the overhead compartments, and settling down. I find my seat number printed on my boarding pass, 23A. It is a window seat, which makes me very happy. I place my backpack carefully under the seat in front of me and sit down. From my seat, I can look out through the small round window. The view shows the wing of the airplane and the busy runway where other planes are moving. Around me, passengers continue to find their seats. Some ask flight attendants for help, others switch seats with friends or family. The overhead compartments close slowly as they fill with luggage. Flight attendants move gracefully through the aisle, assisting passengers, checking seat belts, and making sure everything is in order. I take a deep breath and feel the seat beneath me. It is not very large, but it feels comfortable enough for the journey. In front of me, there is a small screen where I can later watch movies, listen to music, or check flight information. There is also a tray table folded neatly against the seat back, ready to hold food, drinks, or even my notebook if I want to write. The announcement system turns on, and the captain speaks, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board Flight 218 to London. Please take your seats, fasten your seatbelts, and prepare for departure. We wish you a pleasant journey." His voice is calm and professional, giving me confidence. Flight attendants then begin the safety demonstration. They show how to fasten and unfasten seatbelts, where to find the life vest, and how to use the oxygen mask if needed. They point to the emergency exits and remind us to read the safety card in the seat pocket. Even though I have seen this demonstration many times, I always pay attention. Safety is very important. The engines outside start to roar louder. I can feel a gentle vibration under my feet as the airplane prepares for pushback. The plane slowly moves backward from the gate, guided by a special airport vehicle. Then, it begins to taxi along the runway, joining a line of other planes waiting for takeoff. Through the window, I see the airport terminal getting smaller and smaller as we move away. I notice ground staff in bright uniforms waving and directing the planes. The excitement in my chest grows stronger. Soon, we will be in the sky. The airplane turns onto the runway. The engines grow louder, stronger, and more powerful. My body presses gently into the seat as the plane accelerates quickly. The ground outside rushes past in a blur. Then, suddenly, I feel the lift. The airplane rises off the ground and climbs into the sky. My stomach feels light, almost like floating, and I smile with excitement. Through the window, I see the airport shrinking below, the buildings and roads becoming small like toys. The clouds move closer until we fly right through them. For a moment, everything outside is white and misty. Then, we rise above the clouds, and the view is breathtaking. A bright blue sky with a soft white carpet of clouds stretching endlessly beneath us. Inside the cabin, the atmosphere calms down. Passengers relax in their seats, some reading books, others adjusting their headphones. Children look out the windows with wonder in their eyes. Flight attendants walk quietly through the aisle, checking that everyone is comfortable. I lean back in my seat, take out my notebook, and write a few words: takeoff, boarding, jet bridge, safety demonstration. Writing helps me remember, and it also makes me enjoy the experience more deeply. The seatbelt sign is still on, but soon the captain's voice returns. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our cruising altitude. You may now relax and enjoy the flight. A soft ding sound plays, and passengers begin to move, taking out books, turning on screens, and talking quietly with neighbors. I smile, look out at the endless sky, and feel grateful for this journey. Flying is truly a special experience. It connects people, cultures, and places across the world. And my dear friends, this is the end of episode 3, Boarding and Inside the Plane. Next time, we will enjoy the flight itself. Episode 4, The Flight Experience. The airplane is now high above the clouds. Through the window, I see nothing but a beautiful endless blue sky. The ground is far below, hidden by a soft white blanket of clouds. It feels like we are floating in a peaceful world far away from everything. Inside the cabin, the atmosphere is calm. The engines create a steady humming sound, like a constant background music. Some passengers are already sleeping, their heads resting gently on the seat or on travel pillows. Others are watching movies on their screens, laughing quietly or listening with headphones. I decide to explore the entertainment system. On the small screen in front of me, there are movies, TV shows, music, and even games. There is also a map showing the flight path, the current altitude, and the time left until arrival. I choose a relaxing piece of music, put on my headphones, and enjoy the view outside at the same time. The combination of music and the sky makes me feel calm and happy. After a little while, the flight attendants begin serving food and drinks. They move smoothly down the aisle with their trolley, offering meals to each passenger. The smell of warm food fills the air. When it is my turn, I smile and say politely, "Chicken, please," because the options are usually chicken or vegetarian. The flight attendant hands me a small tray with a hot meal, bread, salad, dessert, and a drink. I place the tray on the table in front of me and begin eating. The food is simple but tasty. I sip some juice and enjoy each bite. Eating on an airplane always feels different, maybe because of the excitement of traveling, or maybe because everything tastes special in the sky. Around me, I hear the quiet sound of people opening packages, clinking forks, and talking softly to their neighbors. After finishing my meal, I fold the tray back and place it neatly in front of me. The flight attendants soon collect the trays, keeping the cabin clean and organized. I take a sip of water, lean back in my seat, and feel relaxed. The hours in the air pass in many different ways. Some passengers read books, turning pages slowly. Others close their eyes, resting peacefully. Children play with toys or watch cartoons on their screens. A few people walk up and down the aisle, stretching their legs and chatting quietly with friends. I take out my notebook again and write some new English words that come to mind: trolley, tray table, altitude, entertainment system. I repeat them softly to myself, practicing pronunciation while the engines hum in the background. Learning during travel feels natural. It connects my experiences with my language practice. From time to time, I glance at the screen showing the map. A small airplane icon moves slowly across the line from one city to another. It shows the distance we have traveled, the speed of the plane, and the time remaining. Watching the little plane move forward makes me feel connected to the journey, even though I am sitting still. A few hours later, the cabin lights dim. The flight attendants close the windows with shades, creating a quiet, dark atmosphere for passengers to rest. I adjust my seat slightly, put on my headphones again, and listen to soft music. The hum of the engines feels like a lullaby, and soon my eyes begin to close. After a short nap, I wake up and open the window shade. Outside, the sky has changed. The sun is setting, painting the clouds with colors of orange, pink, and purple. The view is breathtaking. I take a moment to simply watch, feeling grateful to witness such beauty from above. Many passengers also open their windows to enjoy the sunset. The whole cabin glows with warm, soft light. Later, the flight attendants bring small snacks and drinks. I enjoy a cup of tea and a biscuit, which gives me energy for the last part of the journey. Around me, people begin to prepare for arrival. Some are packing their bags, others are freshening up in the restroom, and children are being reminded to put away their toys. The captain makes another announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, we will soon begin our descent. Please fasten your seatbelts and prepare for landing. The seatbelt sign lights up again with a soft ding. Passengers buckle their belts, return tray tables to their places, and sit upright. The cabin feels busy once more, full of movement and anticipation. I take one last look out of the window. The sky is darker now, and I can see small lights twinkling far below on the ground. The airplane lowers slowly, descending through the clouds. My ears pop a little from the change in pressure, but I swallow and it quickly feels better. Inside, the flight attendants walk down the aisle for the final check. They make sure all passengers are safe, seat belts are fastened, and overhead bins are closed. Everyone waits quietly, some nervous, some excited, as the airplane continues its smooth descent. The engines grow louder again as we get closer to the runway. The lights of the city below grow bigger and brighter. Then, with a gentle but firm bump, the wheels touch the ground. The plane slows down quickly, the engines roar, and finally we roll safely onto the taxiway. A round of applause begins from some passengers, celebrating the safe landing. I smile. It is a beautiful tradition that shows gratitude to the pilots and crew. And my dear friends, this is the end of episode 4, The Flight Experience. Next time, we will explore the final part of the journey, arriving at the destination airport. Episode 5, Arrival at the Destination Airport. The airplane has just landed. The engines are still humming loudly as we roll slowly across the runway toward the terminal. Outside the window, I see other airplanes parked at their gates, their lights shining in the evening air. Ground vehicles move quickly around, guiding planes, carrying luggage, and preparing for new departures. The atmosphere is busy, but everything feels organized. Inside the cabin, passengers are relieved and excited. Some clap softly, others smile and whisper to each other, "We made it." I hear different languages and accents blending together in this moment of shared happiness. The captain speaks through the loudspeaker, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to London." The local time is 7:15 p.m., and the temperature outside is 18 degrees Celsius. Please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened until the seatbelt sign is switched off. His calm voice fills the cabin, and everyone listens carefully. After a few minutes, the seatbelt sign goes off with a familiar ding. Passengers begin to stand up, reaching for their bags in the overhead compartments. The aisle fills with people, some eager to leave quickly, others waiting patiently. I stay seated for a moment, watching the crowd, then carefully take my backpack from under the seat. The flight attendants open the doors, and fresh air flows into the cabin. Passengers slowly walk toward the exit. I thank the flight attendants as I leave. "Thank you very much." They smile warmly and reply, "Goodbye. Have a nice evening." I step into the jet bridge. It feels different from before. This time, I am arriving, not departing. The corridor leads directly into the new airport terminal. I take a deep breath and remind myself, a new adventure is beginning. Inside the arrival hall, the first step is passport control, also called immigration. Large signs guide me toward the right area. The line is long, filled with travelers from many different countries. Some carry large folders of documents, others only their passports. The officers sit behind their counters, checking passports carefully, asking questions politely but seriously. When it is my turn, I hand my passport to the officer with a polite smile. He scans it, looks at me, and asks, "What is the purpose of your visit?" I answer confidently, "Tourism." He nods, stamps my passport, and says, "Welcome." That single word makes me feel both relieved and happy. Next, I walk toward the baggage claim area. The hall is wide, with several large conveyor belts slowly moving suitcases. Above each belt, a screen shows the flight number. I find my flight number and wait patiently with other passengers. The sound of suitcases hitting the belt echoes in the hall. People watch carefully, hoping to spot their bags. Finally, I see my suitcase coming toward me. I step forward quickly, lift it off the belt, and smile with relief. It is always a good feeling to see your luggage safe after a long flight. I check the tag just to be sure, then place it on the floor beside me. The last step is customs. Officers stand near the exit, watching passengers. Some travelers are directed to open their bags for inspection, but most walk through without problems. I pass through the green lane, which means I have nothing to declare. The officer gives me a brief nod, and I continue walking. Now, I enter the arrivals hall. Immediately, I feel the energy of the place. Families are waiting with flowers, friends are holding signs with names, taxi drivers stand with boards, and people hug each other with joy. The atmosphere is full of emotions, laughter, tears, and excitement. I pull my suitcase behind me, walk past the crowd, and step outside into the fresh evening air. Cars, buses, and taxis wait to take travelers to their destinations. I pause for a moment, look up at the sky, and smile. My journey through the airport is complete. I have arrived safely at my destination. Traveling is not only about moving from one place to another. It is about the experiences in between, the airport halls, the waiting, the people, the emotions, the flight, and finally the joy of arrival. Every step is part of the adventure, and every journey is a lesson. And my dear friends, this is the end of episode 5, Arrival at the Destination Airport. Stay connected with English Online, because every journey is also an opportunity to learn new English and new ways of seeing the world. My dear friends, we have reached the end of our journey through the airport. From the very first step, arriving at the terminal and checking in, to passing security, waiting at the gate, boarding the airplane, flying across the sky, and finally arriving at the destination airport, every episode was a step in a long adventure. The airport is not just a building with planes. It is a place full of emotions, excitement, challenges, and learning. We practiced useful English expressions, discovered how to describe each part of the journey, and imagined ourselves in real travel situations. Along the way, we also learned about patience, organization, respect, and confidence. Traveling reminds us that every beginning has a process, and every process teaches us something new. Whether it is waiting in a line, asking for directions, or talking politely with staff, each small action builds our confidence in both English and real life. I hope you enjoyed walking step by step with me through this experience. Remember, learning English is also like a journey. It requires preparation, practice, and courage. The more you travel through stories like this, the stronger and more fluent you will become. Stay with English Online for more stories, lessons, and journeys that will inspire you, challenge you, and help you grow. The airport story may have ended, but your English journey has only just begun.